I finally get to review something myself. Maybe I'll get to talk about Fallout Equestria proper. Or maybe I'll jump the shark and talk about Horizons. Or maybe I'll... Really? Yeah, no. This I'm out.
Oh, come on, Frigid. You promised you were going to do a review.
That. You. I'm not doing this. Goodbye. Sorry about that, folks. Frigid has a sour history with the game that we're going to be reviewing today.
You lied to me, you jackass.
Look, I said I was sorry.
I already told you that if I show up there, I'm going to cause a time paradox.
But you know the setting better than I do.
Unless I'm brought back from the dead, you can kiss my fuzzy white...
Frigid!
Oh, lay off it, Gramps. This is a Fallout Equestria review.
That still doesn't mean we don't have standards.
No, you have standards, you son of a...
You see, a while back I ended up playing a game called Fallout Mainlands on Second Life. It was one of my first videos on this channel. I had made the character as Frigid as a descendant, meaning somewhere down the line in my lineage in Fallout Equestria, Frigid was born. Now, while I enjoyed playing the game, Frigid had a bad time of it. He ended up becoming the town's punching bag, and by the end of it, some players thought that it was okay to keep picking fights with me. Now, as much as I enjoyed playing with the battle system in some games, I also disliked having to be in constant conflict. Now, don't get me wrong, Frigid did bring some measure of that on himself. But the last fight that he was in, I kept telling people I didn't want to be in it, I didn't want to have to deal with it, I was trying to go to bed late at night, and it just didn't work out. By the end of it, in order to end the fight, Frigid's head was decapitated on a van door. Now, at the time, I had also NPC'd out his family and ended up making one of them into a player character to replace Frigid. But by that time, the sim fell apart. The administration made some poor decisions regarding their stories and involving their players, and the people that were working on the sim itself decided that they were going to leave the fandom. Now, why am I saying all of this? Well, some of the players who didn't want to see the story end like that decided that they were going to pick up the rule set and start their own sim. Which brings us to Fallout Equestria Journeys.
Also known as Rock Bottom vs. Tumbleweed, T-Rex pit that no one cares about, and that place where I can't see my wife and kid again because you had me killed by an ice cream truck, you
Moving on. So let's say that you decide that you want to make your way into the sim. The first stop is the Skybox entranceway. In here, you can find a copy of the rule set, see which administrators are on to ask them questions, and obtain the roleplay items that you need in order to start. Once you have these, the only thing that you'll have to wait on is your application with the main website. This website's a lot more organized than the last one, though you're still going to have to dig in order to find some of the information about combat or your character status. I highly encourage doing a quick read-through in order to understand the rules and the way things are set up. There are also several factions that exist within the game itself. Right now, these are the relegated NPC factions you'll find in Rock Bottom, the ruined city that exists down the road from Tumbleweed. You have the Blackrock Union Miners, the Gibletier Raiders, the Singularity, which believe in robotics over flesh, and the Motor Mutts, which are the diamond dogs that own the junkyard. As a player character, you'll probably interact with these NPCs at some time or another. The only other thing to note is that you're going to eventually have to salvage your own gear. Your gear contributes to your overall level, and your level contributes to the amount of skills that you can buy. And there are a lot of skills you may want to take into consideration when creating your character. Regardless, gear can be hidden across the sim, or you can end up buying it from NPCs or players that have collected it. Some skills also allow player characters to combine items to increase the level. This is called jury-rigging, and it's not exactly something you can capitalize on, but it does help you if you collect a lot of excess gear. To do this, you either have to have the ability to jury-rig yourself, or find somebody who has that talent. Once you have your character squared away and you have equipment to use in the field, you'd be able to safely venture out on your own and enjoy the roleplay that the sim has to offer.
Do you plan on telling them how much it's going to cost?
Well, yeah. Second Life doesn't do everything for free. To set up your avatar, you're going to have to find the pieces to build it from scratch. And in order for you to buy things, you need linden, which either you get from other players in exchange for making something, or you pay for with real money. However, if you know what you're doing, you could probably make your own avatar, edit it, and not pay a cent. But for those of us who don't have 3D rendering and texturing skills, it might cost you a couple of dollars.
Care to enlighten us on how much you've spent over this time?
Don't want to talk about it.
Ha!
Why are you hanging around anyways? I thought you said you didn't want to be seen.
Oh, this area's fine. We're out of character.
Wait, what?
Yeah, anything done up here has absolutely no bearing on the timeline down below.
Then why didn't you do the review from up here?
Why? Because, and wait for it, fuck you.
How did you get that one past the censor?
Well, to get past that kind of censorship magic, all you have to do is enunciate each vowel so that it makes out the sound of the word.
That doesn't make any sense.
It would if you actually studied magic instead of playing video games all the time.
Yeah, hey, look, a distraction.
What? Huh? Oh, damn it. Look, if you want to know more about Fallout Journeys, you're just going to have to visit the site and see the place for itself. Your experience may vary because of blah 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 blah. I don't care. I need to go find Buttface before he wipes us both out of existence.